David Smith here with another flipped classroom math lesson. A few tips before we start. First, remember that you can speed up or slow down the playback if that helps you follow along. Second, you can turn the captions on and read my words on the screen. Third, you can pause the video at any time to catch up with your notes or write down questions for class. Today's topic, just count the pegs. This is a geoboard problem of the week. Now we've taken a look at this in class already. I just wanted to put together a nice video that explains the whole situation just so that you have it nice and wired. This POW asks you to find 3 separate formulas. They all involve areas of polygons that can be made on a geoboard. The first formula is the area of a polygon with no inside pegs. So you stretch your rubber band around and make your polygon, but you can't have any freestanding pegs inside. Second formula is an area of a polygon with just 4 outside pegs. You can make any polygon you want, it just can only have 4 pegs on the outside. The third formula, this is the super formula. This is the area formula for any polygon that you can make on a geoboard. And indeed, the goal of the POW is to come up with this formula. Okay, first formula. This one wants no inside pegs in your geoboard. I'm going to show you some geoboards in just a second. And it wants you to count the outside pegs. So all the figures that fit for Formula 1 have no inside pegs. Okay, no freestanding pegs inside. And the formula uses the number of outside pegs to get the area. So I'm going to show you a few on the geoboard. We're going to start our in-out table, and that should get you going on this. Okay, so here's one. This figure has no inside pegs, and if we count up the outside, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 outside pegs on there. And then take a look at the area of that. If you stare at that, you'll see that that has an area of 2. Okay, so 6 outside pegs, area of 2. Like that. Okay, and so what you do is you create another figure and another figure and another figure, and you're going to see the number of pegs on the outside and then the area. Okay, so let's do another figure. So here's a figure that also has no inside pegs, okay? Now if you look at that, you'll see that the area is 3. If you can't see that, pause the video and make sure that you can do that. And then let's count the number of outside pegs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have an area of 3 with 8 outsides. So here's a nice simple little triangle. It's got an area of 1, and let's count the pegs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 on the outside. Okay, I'm not going to take that any further. This is your work in the POW. You'll need to use this in-out process for the other 2 formulas as well. Okay, now for the second formula. This one's a little bit different. Now we can only have 4 outside pegs. No more. So the rubber band on the geoboard can only touch 4 pegs. And what we do with this formula is we count the number of inside pegs and use that in our formula to find area. So what we're doing is finding an area of a polygon with 4 pegs on the outside by counting the inside pegs. Formula uses inside pegs to find area. Okay, so let's take a look at a few geoboards and see how they stack up on our diagram. So here is perhaps the most simple diagram that fits the rules. It's got 4 outside pegs and 1 inside peg. And if you take a look at that, maybe pause the video, tell me what the area is. Okay, the area of this one is just 2. So we have 1 inside peg and an area of 2. That means the input for our formula is 1 and it needs to spit out a 2. Whatever that formula is, when you put in 1, it needs to give you 2 for your area. Okay, here's another one. I've expanded the rubber bands out just a little bit, but we still just have 4 outside pegs, so we match that rule, and now we have 2 inside pegs. So take a minute, pause the video if you have to, and figure out the area of that polygon. Okay, if you got 3, you were right. That's a polygon of area 3, and let's take a look. 4 on the outside, that's good. 2 on the inside. So now my input, my number of pegs on the inside is 2, and my area is 3. Okay, now for the last formula, which is really the whole point of this POW, is to get to this formula. It's a little more complicated. It's the super formula. And what we need to do is find the area of any polygon on the geoboard. Okay? We're not having any rules about the number of outside pegs or the number of inside pegs. You're free to roam any polygon you want on the geoboard. Only thing is, you need to find a formula that will calculate its area. Once you know the number of inside and outside pegs, you can use those 2 numbers to generate a formula that finds area. So I'm going to show you a few examples of polygons that work for this. So check this one out. Okay? It's got 1 inside peg, and it's got 8 outside pegs. And it has an area of 4. Okay? Take a look at this one. Check it out. Pretty interesting little diagram. And we have 4 inside pegs, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 outside pegs. And this one has an area of 7. So you should be able to do a formula for the area of this one. You should be able to find the area of this one using your formula, or even this one. Okay, so that's the POW. The 2 first formulas that basically lead you to this formula. So those 2 first formulas will have clues for what you need to do when you build your in-out table hunting for the super formula. Also, your in-out table is going to need a little bit more than that one has there, and I'm going to leave that creative thinking step, that critical thinking step for you to figure out. So what you're doing right now is you're trying to figure out what those formulas are. Plug and chug away with that, work in your groups, ask for questions, think outside the box, and have some fun. Now that you've finished the video, take a moment and jot down some notes or questions for our next class. Remember that you can also watch the video again if you want to increase your understanding. If you enjoyed the video, please click like, and if you'd like to help me grow my YouTube channel, please click subscribe.